So our next panel, I'm excited when we get to talk to women and hear what's going on. The voice of women, politics, the arts, feminism, technology, family, and work. Our category host is Cecily Armstrong, CEO of NYTAX Productions, LLC. Kim Coles, actress, comedian, and author. Kara Mayer Robinson, journalist, host of Really Famous Podcast. And Lillian Garcia, host of Chasing Glory.
All right, sit anywhere, I think.
So hopefully all of these mics are working.
Are we working? Is this thing on?
Yeah, you're all set.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So can we have a round of applause for Victor Harwood and Digital Hollywood? This podcast forum did not suck.
I'm trying not to show my
I thought that was going to be a funny line. Because we're talking women, we're talking humor, we're talking what it takes to get from point A to point B. I'm Cecily Armstrong. As she said, I'm also the co-chair of the podcast forum. So I want to thank you all for being here today. We're going to get right to it.
Let's.
Yeah? Okay.
We're ready.
We're going to speed round of telling stories,
I want
okay?
the people in the hallway to come in, right?
People in the hallway, get in here.
Go get the people.
Hustle up. So this is a very
All are
broad
welcome.
topic that we have here today to talk about. And so all these women are incredibly strong, talented women who have emerged as leaders. They probably came out as leaders, if the truth were to be known. Oh, everyone.
She's really doing it.
Look what you started, Kim. It's Kim. It's always a Kim thing. Okay, so with Lillian, I want to talk about what it was like to be at the very beginning, the very first female announcer at WrestleMania. Can you imagine that? And now MMA.
Yeah.
So talk about testosterone. Tell us a story.
All right. Well, I mean, I never saw myself at WWE. I was always a singer, and I was hosting. I did radio, but I was thinking singing's my thing. That's what I'm doing. And then I got the call to audition for the WWE. I had no idea it was going to be for the announcer. I went to the audition. It was a long process, and it was, long story short, 6 months. They brought me back and they said, we're starting this show called SmackDown, so we really would love for you to
And
start.
women love to hear that word.
Right? So I show up. It was Monday Night Raw, which was live. You know, it is still live. It's on the USA Network, and it's in 146 countries, and it's always in a different arena. And so that night, we was in Iowa, 20,000 people in the arena. I still didn't know what I was doing. 3:30 that day, they tell me, oh yeah, you're going to be our brand new ring announcer tonight, which is the host of the show.
Oh, on the spot.
On the spot, live. And I'm like, great, how do you do that job? And so let me just tell you, it was a really racking thing. I mean, I found out 20 minutes before going live that I couldn't use cue cards, that too. So I didn't know The Rock, I didn't know The Undertaker, I didn't know Stone Cold Steve Austin, I didn't know these people at the time. I watched when I was a kid, but then I fell out of it. But then I also was in a male-dominated industry,
Right.
especially at that time, and I was the first female to come outside of the wrestling world. So I didn't get accepted very well at the very beginning, obviously, but I also
This could be a story in a lot of scenarios across.
But in a lot
Yeah.
of ways, I didn't get told you have to go in and shake everybody's hand, and I didn't get told that. So for me, I thought, let me just stay out of the way. I'm not going to just walk up to The Undertaker and go, hi, I'm Lillian Garcia. You know, I mean, jeez. So I got taken as, she's just a bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man. You know what I did, though, is I was like, all right, what's the task at hand? I went home, I memorized all
Do you
the
think
names.
that's part of being a woman too, of just saying,
No,
okay,
I
we
d-
got to make a list and tick some boxes?
Well, no,
and-
because I really think that even with the guys that I've seen come in, if they don't do the same thing,
Okay, all right.
it's a respect thing.
Okay.
So I learned along the way, right? But what I did is I really took the craft as, what do I need to do? I need to just be good at what I do. I went home and I memorized the weights and the towns and, what it was that I needed to say. When I show up to work, I show up good attitude, on time, no excuses. And I didn't take it against like, oh, well, this man is treating me like this. Like, I don't have that attitude. I'm not a male bashing. I love you men, by the way. Women, great. Yeah, I love the men too. There's nothing wrong
All
with it.
the men are clapping.
We all work together. This is working together. But eventually, what was great was that I got accepted. I got accepted because the men started seeing,
You did the
wow,
work, you
she
did the
really
work."
cares.
Yeah.
And so from that, it turned into 15 years at WWE. And then now I'm in the MMA world, which is crazier, right? But then, at Chasing Glory, I interview a lot of athletes. I interview a lot of those same people that
Right.
I was in. And I think that that's the main
That's
thing
fun
here.
too, because they've been part of that journey
Yes.
from the beginning to where it is now. So
Right.
there's incredible stories. So Chasing Glory, if you haven't listened, if you haven't watched, you need to do so now. It's incredibly great. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, guys.
So we have Kim Coles. You know her as actress, comedian, best-selling author. Yeah, all right. Okay. Shameless plug. My company's producing a show with her. So stay tuned. Stage podcast. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So Kim, you found humor as a tool as a kid that was having some things, watching shows on television, that you thought the characters and the humor in the characters kind of sent you on your way and gave you some tools and some help. Let's talk about that up to the time. Somebody asked me, I wonder what it was like for her to walk across the stage at the Apollo Theater the first time to do stand-up. Can you imagine?
I can imagine.
I
I've
just
been there
got,
several
like,
times.
Yeah, oh.
Let me start at the end and say the Apollo Theater. So hello, everybody. Hello. The Apollo Theater, there's a tradition of that audience booing. They will boo someone who's established. If they're not feeling you that night, they will take you down. And so to this day, even though I have a great career and I've been around, I have a great respect when I show up. Because I've seen them boo names. So I'll start by saying, to this day, I still have that, like, uh-oh, shaking in your boots. And they keep you on your toes because of it, and they know. They're like, go ahead. I got it. So
Right.
I started out watching a lot of the great television in the late 60s and 70s. I'm a baby boomer. And Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball and Flip Wilson and all those variety shows. And not really even understanding how I was going to do that, but soaking it all up.
Right.
And by the time I got to high school, actually I wanted to audition for the High School for the Performing Arts, the FAME school. But I chickened out at the last minute because it was an audition and I wasn't really ready and I hadn't taken any classes. And so I took a test to go to a specialized high school and I got in. And the good news about being at a place where it was like all like smart kids is that the kooky kid could stand out. And so I was very clear that there was a landscape that I was going to have to navigate. And being that I was back then we called it chubby. Now we call it, full-bodied and luscious. Back then it was just fat. And I remember looking and going, the fat girl doesn't have any fun in high school, but the funny girl could. And so I would do characters and walk in funny, I lived in New York. I'm from New York, and so I can, imitate the Puerto Ricans and, hey, how you doing? Or what are we going to study in class today? Oh my God. And so it got me popular.
Are you wearing gold hoops?
You said again?
Are you wearing hoops?
I am wearing hoops, and I will
That's
take
it.
them off and put Vaseline on my face in an instant. No, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Anyway, being able to use humor to connect with people, make people laugh. I ended up class president all 4 years in a row. I ended up on the cheering squad. I ended up dating 2 boys on the football team, not at the same time because I'm not a whore.
Overachiever.
But the point is that that's not the experience that the fat girl gets to have. That's an A-list experience. And so knowing that you get to connect in this way, so developed this skill that I didn't know I was going to use later on.
And it's carried you through it.
It's carried me through
everything.
everything.
At the time, I have to say, of Kim, we've been friends a long time, and of her building her career and watching it, things that are happening now weren't happening 5 years ago, weren't happening 10 years ago, weren't happening 15 years ago. And the staying power of getting up every day and doing the work and really connecting with people and making them laugh and making them feel better about themselves.
And finding
you do
humor
that too.
everywhere.
You make people
and being
feel
fearless.
great about themselves. Kim makes people feel great about themselves. Kara, who we love. So she's an incredible interviewer. Have you ever listened to Really Famous podcast? It's like one of the best names of a podcast ever, the Really Famous podcast, because she interviews people. Now I'm an interviewer too, but she really does interview people in a very different way. She digs deep, she gets in there, and they all are really, really famous. So, but the take on this, part of the title of this round table there's no table. But anyway, where's the table? The round table. Y'all are on round tables, is the lifestyle, the day in the life. 3 kids.
Correct.
Building a business. All of us in the industry in here know what it's like to write something, to produce something, to do the bookings, to do the pre-interviews, to have, what if they cancel, or we got a shift, the crew's on its way, doing that while you're raising 3 kids.
I do all of that and more. It is what it is. It's my life. What can I say? I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I think you were asking me before, well, what is the thing? What's the trick? What's the secret?
Yeah, Lillian wanted to know.
Lillian wanted to know.
I don't even have kids and I don't sleep, so I can't even imagine.
I don't know. I just told you before, and I'll tell everybody here that I just do it. I don't know any other way. To me, it's just you get it all done. And I think there is something about being a woman that might actually be an advantage in that way. That's what we do, right? So
all right.
It's like you were saying, I'm booking a celebrity, I'm interviewing a celebrity, I'm prepping, I'm learning my equipment, my audio, video, all the technical things, and I'm just making it all work while I have the 3 kids. They're a little older now. My youngest is 11.
How do they feel about mom now?
So
Because you're interviewing cool people that they want to meet,
So
right?
yesterday I met Skip Bayless. I interviewed him, and all the boys, of course my son Griffin was very excited about that, and so was my husband, because he's a sportscaster, and he has his own show on Fox Sports, and he was on ESPN for years. So they were excited about that. So everybody has their one celebrity that they're especially excited about. Like, I cannot believe you're about to meet Dr. Drew, who actually is an upcoming guest on Really Famous. But so there's that, and I think that actually seeing me kind of escalate with the podcast has been something that I never planned to do necessarily, but for them to see that happening, I think is really cool. So they see me working extra hard. I mean, they see me constantly looking at my phone and my computer, not in a bad way, really, it's just for work. But they see me doing that, they see me working late at night if I have to, but they also see me coming home from an interview, like glowing, because there's nothing that makes me happier than recording a podcast. Nothing. I love it.
Wow, that's a
It is like the
testament
greatest
to-
gift.
I think you have some people who agree with you out there. All right, women rule. That's it. That's it.
They knew that.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much. This was our mini non-round table.
There is a round table.
Thanks.
There were a lot of round tables.
Thank you.
Take a bow.
Thank you. Thank you.